Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it, everybody. Why am I puking already?
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody.
Stop it.
Good morning.
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay, 6 minutes after the hour. Carlos Allen's Rocky, Sexy Liberal Extraordinaire, live in hour number 3 for Coffee with Carlos. Charlie Pierce, today, rescheduled for today. Very exciting. Oh, everybody wants to know how my granny gear worked on my bike.
Yeah.
Very well. Although I am getting on in age. Right, Nathan? My bike partner, he asked how the granny gears worked. Because there's a lot of climbing where I live.
We're hilly
a lot
here.
of uphill. Yes. But now I'm thinking about an e-bike, which gives you a little electrical assist on the hills. And then pretty soon I'm going to be in a Walmart scooter.
Yeah.
Pretending that I'm
okay, you're a puss.
So that's how it went.
You're a puss.
Oh. As we know from yesterday's Twitterverse, I am pro-Ebola.
Sure.
As Rush said, are all liberals. I am a Zionist thug, Hamas sympathizing Ebola lover.
Yep.
However, I am not U.S. Representative Todd Rokita.
Oh, he's with?
His own asshatness. He's a Republican congressman. He had said that he thinks the kids may be bringing Ebola across the border from Mexico.
But
based on
Ebola is
nothing.
From
based on nothing.
Central Africa.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Which is nowhere near the border.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. Tommy in Columbus sent me this stuff. Central America and the west coast of Africa, just about the same thing. So if you have Ebola in Sierra Leone, the first thing you want to do is fly to El Salvador, then ride on top of a boxcar through Mexico in August, so then you can sneak into the U.S. Rokita said in a statement he mentioned the virus as an example of a public health threat, not one that has been directly linked to the toddlers coming across the Mexican.
Right.
He said the sudden spread of Ebola in Africa is merely one example of how we must take deliberate care to prevent an outbreak of any type of disease inside our border. Okay, so, right, and all medical professionals pretty much roundly said, right, there is zero chance that the kids coming from on the southern border have Ebola. But thanks for the fear-mongering.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, right. And he's not the only one, by the way. Fox News, why, looky there. Fox News hypes fear of Ebola on the Mexico border and then quietly debunks the idea in the same report. Which is spectacular, I have to say.
Don't they have editors there? An editor would have pointed this out.
Fox News used several quotes from conservative politicians on Tuesday to suggest Ebola was causing a health risk at the U.S. border with Mexico, an assertion the network then debunked in its own report, but quietly. They are really lost ever since the they have no more Benghazi really to report on.
Right.
Yeah, they're not really.
They did not make one mention of that report.
There's that headline.
Yeah.
Hello, is this thing on? Fox News quiet after congressional report finds no Benghazi scandal. Oh. Fox News has gone silent on Benghazi amid reports that the House Intelligence Committee concluded there was no intentional wrongdoing in the Obama administration's response to the attacks. That would be the House Republican-led.
Yes.
That was just August 1st, in case you missed that.
Yeah.
They voted to declassify the findings into the attack, which concluded, quote, there was no deliberate wrongdoing by the Obama administration in the 2012 attack. Fox's sudden lack of interest into Benghazi comes less than 1 week after Trey Gowdy
Gosh.
announced in what's Fox News billed as an exclusive interview.
With Trey Gowdy?
That he would.
Nobody else could book Trey Gowdy except for Fox?
No one has enough hair product.
Oh, boy.
That he would hold more public hearings on the attack in September. So that's when the Trey Gowdy, everything's on hiatus now. In September, the Trey Gowdy show. Okay. Did I mention with taxpayer money?
Lots and lots of taxpayer money.
This is the fifth. Is it the fifth?
I think so.
Benghazi investigation. Okay, back to, no wonder they're on Ebola might be, some say Ebola's coming across the southern border, except that it's not. Okay, they, in a Monday story entitled, Ebola Outbreak Fuels Concerns Over Health Risks Along U.S.-Mexico Border. Well, that is catchy, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That is clickable and catchy. That's clicky. Fox News reported there was a growing health risk with statistics showing dozens of people from the epicenter of the Ebola scare illegally entered the U.S. or tried to this year. You know where they got that? Breitbart.
Oh, God.
Right.
Even in death, he still spreads lies.
Right. He still sits on a throne of lies.
Yes.
Even in death. It noted
sit on a throne of lies.
Right. It noted that Representative Phil Gingrey, Republican of Georgia, had recently raised concerns about child refugees from Central America with swine flu, Ebola virus, and tuberculosis.
Yeah.
I think he just threw out a bunch of scary sounding diseases. Have I mentioned yet that this is really hugely irresponsible and probably racist without coming out and saying it diseases from places where there are dark people. Okay, let's see. The article also said that Representative, the guy I just mentioned, Todd Rokita, just because some Republican asshat said it doesn't mean there are reports.
Right.
He raised a concern about Ebola, as I mentioned. Oh, he wrote a letter, so that must make it. He wrote a letter to the Office of Refugee Resettlement, so it must be real. He said the children might pose a public health risk with Ebola circulating and everything else. Just stuff. Bad things happening. Stuff. So it might be happening. In the Fox News article, which had no byline, it also pointed out that PolitiFact.com had given Gingrey a pants-on-fire rating for the claim that immigrants might be bringing the virus over the Mexican border. The head of New York University's Medical Ethics Center explained to PolitiFact that anyone who contracted Ebola would most likely be, what's the word I'm looking for, dead. Before they finish making the long journey through Central America. The reality
Let alone the fact that they probably wouldn't be strong enough, to get on a plane.
Right. The reality is that Ebola has only been found in Africa, and experts agree that given how the disease develops, the likelihood of children from Central America bringing it to the U.S. border is almost non-existent. The CDC and independent epidemiologists say there is zero evidence that these migrants are carrying the virus to the border. But some say. So it must be a Fox News story, because some are saying.
There are reports.
The CDC director told Fox News host Chris Wallace on Sunday that calls to hermetically seal this country did not make any sense. Because, we are aficionados here of the Boy in the Plastic Bubble, starring John Travolta in the 70s, so that was some Republicans' idea. I just
remember he kissed his girlfriend through the plastic.
Right. Everyone would have to touch us through it would be hermetically sealed, the entire country. Yeah. We would be the country in a plastic bubble.
We'd have to kiss Mexico through the plastic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Or probably Canada. Or a country that would much rather kiss Canada.
Because, of course, according to Phil Gingrey, Mexico has diseases.
And you might get them even through the plastic.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, boy. All right. So, meanwhile, back in the real world, Nancy Wrightball, the second American Ebola patient, arrived at the Atlanta hospital. She was wheeled in on Dr. Brantley, of course, walked. We were talking about that yesterday. She was wheeled in. Her husband said from Liberia she was very weak but getting better and felt well enough before leaving the country to eat yogurt.
Good.
Her husband said watching her medical care was like watching the love of Christ take place right before your eyes. The Brantley and Wrightball families met for the first time Monday night. Said a spokesman for Samaritan's Purse, which is the aid organization, as you said, that's Franklin Graham's
organization.
Right. The Brantleys spent time together praying for Wrightball, and the Wrightballs thanked the Brantleys for those prayers. And we were saying, it is amazing, the hypocrisy of the Republican Party, whether it's a Donald Trump or Rush Limbaugh or whatever. Aren't these the people they're supposed to love, the religious right? Yep. But, oh no, not the ones with Ebola, because when did Jesus ever say anything about helping sick people? Crazy.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Josh Earnest, White House press secretary, on the Ebola.
While we stand with our African partners in their time of need, particularly when it comes to something as threatening as an outbreak of a disease like Ebola, but our relationship is much more diverse and broad than just focusing on that one specific issue.
And, of course, right now in D.C., there's the African Summit where 50 leaders from countries all around Africa are meeting. And, while this Ebola outbreak is going on. So
Right. Yeah. I was struck by the giant.
Of right-wing hypocrites!
You cannot be a party that claims to be the party of God and the party of,
Right.
the religious right, and you own all that, and then these people are clearly very religious and doing what they're doing because of what they believe in.
Right.
And Donald Trump's like, leave them over there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they may be saying prayers for these people, but they're not proselytizing to them. They're trying to help the sick.
Right. Right. I'll ask John Fugelsang this week if Jesus ever said anything about helping the sick. I don't recall.
I don't think so.
I think he might know. All right.
He only said keep the homos down.
I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
Bruce Johnson, president of the missionary group from the second Ebola victim.
We were thinking about a possible funeral arrangements. Yet we kept our faith. Now we have a real reason to be hopeful.
Charlie in Illinois, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hey, Charlie.
Good morning,
Good
Mama.
morning.
How are you?
Good.
Hey, you just mentioned about this right-wing nut job screaming Ebola down the border.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if there's any correlation with the law that says you cannot scream fire in a movie theater.
Yeah, well, I was just, that was what I was implying, Charlie, is that it is, we joke about Fox News and all that, but I mean, that is just highly irresponsible to fearmonger like that. And you're right, it is, it's more dog whistle. It's, brown people, scary diseases, un-American. It's all of a theme, isn't it?
It is, and they're just inciting violence.
I mean, and by the way, they've already been saying this, like, they might have diseases. So conveniently, the Ebola outbreak happens several continents and oceans away, and they're conveniently go, these kids probably have Ebola. I mean,
and what they're forgetting to say is because they have socialized medicine, these kids are already vaccinated.
Yeah.
Better vaccinated than the kids in Texas.
Yeah, it's just it's the same play they run every time against every kind of other. It's fearmonger and divide, and it's just.
I'm a political junkie, and I'd be lost without free speech TV and some of the members of MSNBC.
Aw, thank you, honey. Me too.
Hey, you know what? I've got something that I'd like to ask Chris about.
Uh-oh.
Hi.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good.
Hey, when you banned Billy, which was a great thing to do.
Yes.
The caller before that, his name was Gary in Chicago.
Okay.
So I remember
he keeps logs.
I remember that for 2.5 weeks. That's how big of an issue it is for me. Now, Gary from Chicago, he reminded me when he was panicking and screaming about.
He was the one that said I would be hung from a tree after Sarah Palin becomes the leader and we're after the overthrow.
Okay, now I remember.
Yes.
He reminded me of a Chris Farley character when he was playing around and then fell on the floor.
If there was anyone in his proximity, I feel bad because there was spittle. There was a lot of spittle, and we thought it was a thing. He was like, oh no, he's serious. Oh, and by the way, someone else has the same magical idea. We'll talk about it later. Third party, Sarah Palin, the leader, overthrow.
Oh, please.
Whatever. Please. Okay.
And you know what? Spittle may contain Ebola.
Thank you.
So Ebola could come from a far right-winger.
Please keep that in mind when calling a liberal radio show. 19 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Join the
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 24 minutes after the hour. Charlie Pierce coming up, and Carlos Alzraki, comedian extraordinaire. 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Julie brings us. Julie from Seattle caught a Sean Hannity tweet. This is nice. Sean, 2 Tic Tacs in a coffee can, Hannity. We once speculated that's what his brain sounds if he shakes his head when he
sounds like one
something.
Tic Tac in a container.
Little teeny brain in a big brontosaurus head.
Yep.
Okay. He's in Israel, from whence he tweeted, "Beauty, even in the insanity of a war zone," with a picture of the pool from his suite in a 5-star seaside hotel. Of
course.
Isn't that nice? Hannity. Beauty, even in the insanity of a war zone. Yeah, the war zone not actually at the Ritz where you're staying, at a seaside resort in Israel. Thanks for playing this in the point entirely. Give you a giant Fred Flintstone head. All right. Speaking of brilliant ideas, GOP lawmaker calls on Sarah Palin to lead a new party to replace Republicans.
Oh, please.
Yes.
Computer says yes.
Yes. This is what you have to do for America. Absolutely. this is for right-wingers. The Tea Party is not teabaggy enough for. You've got to, it's not pure enough. And you got to stand on principle. You got to, okay. A former California lawmaker who is brilliant, clearly, and executive for the conservative social activist network Council for National Policy, or something, is proposing that the Tea Party and Christian extremists from a third party to do to the GOP what the GOP did to the Whig Party.
Oh, my God.
And says that Sarah Palin should be its leader. Yes! Like that guy, Gary in Chicago, could be the campaign manager, the guy that said she's going to
revolutionize and hang you from a tree.
Right. Sarah Palin will be in charge. Just kind of in charge. He didn't really say anything about,
president
election or, right. He just said she'd be after the overthrow and me and all the other liberals hanging from. Okay. Let's see here. I agree. I think Sarah Palin, you don't need this. Go be free. Be free, Caribou Barbie. Can we call you Elsa? Please. Shake off the shackles of the Republican establishment. Do it. Steve Baldwin. I don't think it's Steven. Although it could be. Go. Run free. Oh, can't you just see her like Forrest Gump with the leg braces falling off, just running free from the mainstream media and Republican establishment? You betcha, what all?
She is a runner.
Right?
I mean, her gams were featured on the cover of Runner's World magazine.
She's like a cross between Forrest Gump and Elsa from Born Free.
Less hairy.
Right, Steve Baldwin. I don't think it's one of the... I don't think it's a lesser Baldwin. Okay. No, I think it's an entirely different Baldwin.
Okay. Not the Baldwin from Biodome.
No.
Okay.
No. Not a child of a lesser Baldwin, obviously.
Sure. Yeah,
not the actual Baldwins.
Right.
Steve Baldwin's proposal to form a, quote, coalition between social and fiscal conservatives around the issue of eliminating all federal abortion funding, reversing Roe v. Wade, prohibiting the federal government from granting special rights to people based on sexual behavior. You know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You homo gays. Baldwin, but this is a great idea. This is, right?
I think it's wonderful.
The teabagger's not right-wing enough.
Right.
Go. Need to run free. Baldwin believes that Republicans in leadership positions have done little more than propose a way to manage socialism more effectively. Yes! Louis Gohmert, Michelle Bachmann, socialists! They're just managing socialism. They're not really right-wing. And that the party establishment has done nothing but wage war on the Tea Party conservative wing of the GOP, abusing infrastructure to favor rhinos, Republicans in
name only.
Right, over conservatives. The most egregious instance of this, to his mind, was the party support of Thad
Cochran?
Thad Cochran over Tea Party favorite Chris McDaniel in the recent Mississippi primary. He acknowledges it may be difficult. No such thing. To create a viable third party with the assistance of a, quote, a stable and respected national conservative leader such as Sarah Palin to lead the charge.
Stable.
Yes! Do it!
So somebody who quits in the middle of their only term is stable?
It's brilliant. Go!
Oh, God.
29 minutes after the hour. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it.
That totally looks like a screwdriver. I know it's your emergency, but
it's the breakfast champion, the screwdriver and jerky. Yeah. This is why the dogs are hovering.
Is that dog jerky?
No, it's people jerky.
Okay.
I'm on a thing. Okay. 1-800-STEP-12, the phone number. Toll free from anywhere. Charlie Pierce, Carlos Alzraki coming up. All right. So we were talking about, this guy. Oh, so many Republican asshats so little time. Yes, Indiana Republican Representative, what's his name? Todd Rokita.
Todd Rokita.
I do not know if you need a Roku to watch Todd Rokita.
Rokita is a little Roku.
You can only afford the little teeny one.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the person who called in and said, hello, I am a Jew watching you on Roku. All right. He was the one that said Central American immigrants might be carrying Ebola based on nothing. There are actually, just for those of you just tuning in, there are actually no reported cases originating in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
But he's just saying. He's not saying. He's just saying.
Right.
He's just saying the kids at the border could have Ebola, presumably. Okay, and may I just say that Todd Rokita may have chlamydia. I don't know if he does or not, but he might.
Chlamydia?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So there's that. Just a little underlying racism in all this. A little bit. Just.
He looks like he
brown people at the border. Ooh, brown people in Africa. Disease. Yeah. Ooh, ick.
Rokita looks like he could have hoof and mouth disease.
You think so?
Yeah, or maybe
Stephanie Miller Show's not saying Representative Rokita has hoof and mouth disease.
Or maybe he has the ick.
Right. Just saying. Yeah. We're not saying. We're just saying. Okay. Some of these people I haven't even heard of. Dee Benke, a Republican strategist. Have you ever heard of this gal?
No. She sounds like a piece of work.
Yep, there she is. Oh, she tweets wearing, I don't know, looks like a bikini or something.
Oh.
She tweeted, just trying to, she's tanning. See, she's in a bathing suit.
Okay.
Just trying to brown up so I can get me some free healthcare food, pad, fiestas, because zero love for Whitey. A Twitter user jumped in to call her a vacuous idiot, and she responded by saying it was racist for him to say that. All right.
She doesn't understand a whole lot, does she? That's the kind of person that's advising the Republican Party?
In a totally unrelated story that does not involve vacuous idiots at all, Michelle Bachmann, Representative Michelle Bachmann, the bat crazy one.
Yeah.
When is she leaving, for God's sakes? I thought she was done. When is it done?
At the end of December, I believe. Because we have the lame duck session where nothing's really going to get done.
Oh,
and then
she wants more time to spend with her
everybody who gets elected is gets installed after the first of the year.
Anybody want to take guesses whether Marcus will be caught this Christmas season in the Minneapolis airport wearing a mistletoe belt buckle in the men's bathroom? Just me? All right.
He's right there.
I'm the only one in the betting pool? Fine. She has she's a big idea kind of gal.
Yep.
She, on a conference call with members of an anti-immigration group, proposed raising taxes to 100% on undocumented immigrants. After describing the massive, well-lit, fully guarded fence she wants the U.S. to build along the full length of like the Bill O'Reilly idea, like a Berlin Wall.
Sure.
Which would be so workable and cheap.
Yeah.
She proposed another way to discourage Mexican and Central American citizens from entering the country illegally. She said I think we have it. She said we should do 100% tax. Okay.
What I believe we should do is have a 100% tax on remittances, the money that illegal aliens send back to these countries. If we had a 100% tax on these remittances, the money that goes back, we would have a phone call in 5 minutes from the presidents of these countries saying, what can we do? We want to keep this money flowing into our economy. What we have to recognize is this truly is a war against the American people.
It's a war against Whitey, she means.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Let's, she's a helper. Before she leaves, she's trying to help with that outreach to the Latino voter for the next and good for her. You know who else is a helper?
Maybe she can join that party that's trying to overtake the GOP.
Right. Oh, right. And our dream could come true of a Palin Bachman ticket, right? Exactly.
Palin Bachman overdrive.
Yes. No, that was the Janine Turner. That's another dream. That's another dream that's died, but it might. Janine Turner
could happen. Also
right-wing whack. There could actually be a Bachman-Turner overdrive.
It could happen.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. You know who else is a helper?
Who?
In terms of Latino outreach for the Republican Party is, hey, Mo. Mo Brooks, that guy.
Oh, him. Yeah.
Republican Representative Mo Brooks. Same congressman behind, remember he said the Democratic Party are engaging in a war on whites?
Yep. He keeps doubling down.
Right. He said, and the president also. President and Democrats waging a war on white people.
Of course.
So, you get his point. Wake up, white people. And also, where are the white women at? I think those were his two basic points. He said...
And where are the white women at?
He has now said he thinks dreamers should not serve in the U.S. military because they're not trustworthy enough. He also took particular note of the weapons they would have access to if they joined. So see how clever you'd have to be? You'd have to join up just to get a weapon, risk being shot at and killed in a foreign war so that you could turn against
America.
Right, presumably. Brooks expressed concerns about American citizens competing with illegal aliens to serve in the U.S. military. Oh, that's right. Competing for the... Right? They might take away someone else's ability to get a shot at a foreign war. He was speaking out against the Enlist Act, a proposal to let young illegal immigrants receive resident status if they first serve in the military, because you can't have that. These people need to keep talking as much as possible before the midterms and the next presidential election. Please, tell us more.
They need to be booked on every Sunday show.
Right. I think that, your duty as an American citizen, if you see many of these right-wingers, please tell us more. Gather a group of your Latino friends, please. Steve King, immigrant calves, more please.
Yes.
There's got to be more detail than just cantaloupes.
Rand Paul leaving his burger and running away.
What did I say yesterday? What kind of real American leaves half their burger? Not even half, by the way. That's been incorrectly reported. If you watch the video, he took one bite. Who takes one bite of a burger and leaves? What kind of American, I ask you? Not a real one.
Nope.
That looked like a really good burger.
I know.
And he almost spit out that bite, which would have made him practically a communist. He did. He took like one. He almost did the.
And then.
Right. Because you could hear, you could see even his peripheral vision. Oh no, brown person approaching. Oh no. And then the minute she got like one word out, he was like. Right. Exactly. Charlie Pierce has some funny stuff about that. Did you see that was the GIF was going around the interwebs over and over again about how fast he skedaddled. And what kind of carnival shirt was that he was wearing? Some multicolored striped shirt? Not American.
She says, nah.
I have a shirt or two like that.
Really?
Yeah.
With multicolored vertical stripes?
Mm-hmm. Colors are in.
All we can hope is that Blake Farenthold doesn't have one in horizontal stripes.
Oh, don't do horizontal stripes.
No.
Especially when you're built like Blake Farenthold.
Right, that's my point. Bob in Virginia, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Bob.
Hey, Mama.
Hello.
Hey, that Tea Party guy who wants the Tea Party to break away from the Republican parties, as usual, they have their history wrong. It was the know-nothings who broke away from the Whigs. It ended up destroying both of their parties. And the GOP
don't give him the details. It's a good big picture idea.
Well, please break away. Please do it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. A real American stands on their principles, right, Bob?
That's right.
Is Tea Party too watered down, really?
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Shh, don't give them information and facts. It's like this whole Israel thing. The religious right, the rapture, it all depends on you not telling the Jews how it ends. Just pro-Israel. Don't tell the Jews what happens. Just they're necessary in this whole scenario, and we love Israel. Join us. Okay. I'm just saying they do love Israel just for the wrong reasons.
Right. Because the world explodes at the end.
Right. Okay. Listen, we just want to encourage the fine Americans on our right in America that you are absolutely right. You are not far right enough.
Keep going.
Skedaddle.
Keep going.
Like Rand Paul with half a burger in your mouth. Go! 45 minutes after the hour, we rode along on the step. Oh my gosh, so Jay-Z and Beyonce did make it to San Francisco last night. Okay. We'll hear about it from Mei Lee on Friday. She was there.
Apparently you could hear it from the entire city.
They're fighting?
No. The concert.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. We'll ask May about the general vibe between Jay-Z and Bey.
And we'll see if...
Maybe that's why she wears the face net to hide her facial expressions of disgust every time he gets near her.
Could be. And we'll see if Mei Lee has all of her fingertips.
Yes, exactly. Somebody lost one of theirs at the concert here in L.A.
Yeah, at the Rose Bowl.
Okay, 49 minutes after the hour, 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll-free from anywhere. David in Seattle. Hi, David.
Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Mooks.
Hi.
Hey, as I was listening the last 5 minutes, Romney's failed campaign came to mind. And do you remember when Romney pissed off practically all the women, all the Latinos, all the blacks, everybody?
Binders full of women. He pissed off binders full of them.
Yeah, and so the only way for him to win was he'd have to win 60+% of all the white vote.
Right.
Which wasn't going to happen. So it seems like the Republicans are employing that strategy because they don't have anything. They have nothing left.
Right.
Not just to win 16, but to win, the congressional elections coming up.
Yeah. I mean, as we were saying, the more these Republicans that keep talking, I mean, if you're looking at the polling, I mean, their percentage of the Latino vote has shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, and this stuff is obviously not helping.
No, not at all.
Which is, I think, spectacular news. Oh, by the way, speaking of moving forward, Republican Party forward,
sure.
They have a new Mitt Romney. Billionaire Bruce Rauner. Am I saying that right?
Sure. Somebody
from Illinois called me. He's a candidate for Illinois governor. He stashed part of his money in the Caymans. Just like Mittens. His money has a propensity to like to vacation overseas. Billionaire venture capitalist Bruce Rauner, the Republican nominee for governor in Illinois, has turned out to be no different than the Mitt Romneys of the world, according to a new report in the Chicago Sun-Times. Rauner's stashed some unknown part of his fortune in the Cayman Islands, where it is spooning with Mitt Romney's money.
Aww.
Where there's zeal for
Who's the big spoon? Who's the little spoon?
Who can say? Where there is zeal for secrecy is matched only by their aversion to income taxes, they have none. Isn't that handy? Of course, his refusal to release his tax return, so it's impossible to know how much offshore money he actually has parked there. Just like Mitt Romney. Remember that?
That's right.
Remember Ann Romney's warm interview with Robin Roberts? You people have seen everything you're going to see from us. Stop it. Right?
She's so warm.
That bothered me, can I say, almost anything in the last campaign. I'm like, really? You think you can you have the audacity to think you can run for president and people don't have to see your tax returns.
And run from paying your taxes.
And by the way, that didn't look at all suspicious, did it?
Nope. Not at all.
Pete's sake, I can't release my tax returns. I'm running for president. What? That's ridiculous.
Anytime someone says that they have money stashed in a Cayman Islands bank account, it just sounds fishy.
Right. It's like if you're with a significant other. What was that text? Who's that from? Nobody. Can I see it? No. Just no.
You are.
Listen, stop. You people have seen all you're going to see. Move along. There's nothing to see here. It's nothing. Please. All right. Okay. I have so much to get to today. I don't even know what to.
Okay.
Mitch McConnell, who, by the way, somebody said I thought we would hear from him yesterday in the tunnels because he is an expert in
Turtle Tunnel.
Which I don't know if they're the same as the Gaza tunnels, but
they look a little in Gaza. The tunnels look a little taller than a turtle tunnel.
He touts support for Violence Against Women Act, which he repeatedly opposed in a new campaign ad. Wow, because his campaign ads get any creepier. After the one with the slow turn to camera with the slow, creepy smile. He unveiled a new campaign ad that gives an incredibly misleading account of his record on the Violence Against Women Act, a bill he has voted against repeatedly. And see, now he's running against a chick who pointed it out. So now...
And so is he saying that he supported it?
Most recently he opposed it over its expanded protections for victims of domestic abuse.
Okay.
I believe he wanted to rename it the Bitch Had It Coming bill. I think Jim told us that.
Yeah.
In the ad called As If.
Is it really called As If?
Yes, it is. It's called As If. I don't know. I guess was the other choice, but they went with As If.
Or, oh my God.
Oh my God. McConnell's wife defends his record on women's issues against desperate attacks from his Democratic challenger, Alison Lungergan Grimes. Narrator's voice says McConnell co-sponsored the original Violence Against Women Act and has always supported its purpose.
Well, then why did he vote against it so many times?
In fact, the narrator says McConnell voted for even stronger protections than President Obama advocated.
Computer says no.
Although it's unclear which protections that refers to.
Yeah.
McConnell did co-sponsor the original bill in 1991, which never got a vote, but he pulled his sponsorship when it came up again in 1993 and voted against the version that became law in 1994. More recently, he voted against reauthorizing it in 2012 and again in 2013. So you can see how his support has always been steadfast.
Sure.
Instead, he pushed for a scaled-back GOP version that left out protections for LGBT, Native American, and undocumented immigrant victims of domestic abuse. Because, right? Democrats ultimately prevailed, winning over Republicans to back the broader bill, but Mitch McConnell did not back that bill.
Okay.
Grimes' spokesman said McConnell's record on the women's issue speaks for itself. Simply saying I'm married to a woman doesn't speak loudly enough. Your actions and record over 30 years in Washington indicate where you and how you will stand up for women.
Did you say, yeah, I got a chick in my bed?
I bang chicks. What?
What?
What more do I need to do than sharing my turtle with a woman? Okay? I mean, I give and I give and I give. God. Bitches. Keep complaining. That is just, they're still in like a dead heat. I don't know, one of them's up for the other.
McConnell's up by 3.
A couple points, whatever, in this latest poll, but it's very close. Let's go to Bob in Chicago. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hey, Bob. Hello, Bob.
Hi, it's Rob.
Oh, Rob. Sorry,
Rob.
sorry. Hey, Rob.
Rob. So, hey, actually, I heard you talking about Bruce Rauner. I wanted to give you some more information about this character.
Okay.
Of course, you know he's a rich billionaire.
Right.
But he made his billion as a hedge fund manager, and one of the funds he managed was the Illinois Public Pension Fund.
Oh.
Which, of course, now he wants to do away with.
Right. Because he's probably got his.
The kicker is he won't release his tax return.
Of course not.
That is so massively arrogant, isn't it? Just like when Mitt Romney did it. To think, yeah. You want to, I mean, the American people have no business snooping around in that. Ugh. Jody in Kentucky, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Jody. Welcome.
Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, sir.
Normally, I am with you on everything, but
thank you. Uh-oh.
The Violence Against Women Act contains a provision called UMBRA, U-M-B-R-A, which says to the entire world that American men are the most violent men in the entire world.
What is the exact language of UMBRA?
What it says is if you go on to a dating site that has women primarily from outside the United States, that you, as an American male, must first submit to a background check before you can even so much as say hello to any of these women.
Okay, so what's your point?
My point is, as long as VAWA has that provision in it, which should not be necessary.
Oh. Jody, would a background check on you turn up anything untoward, or?
Excuse me?
No. Okay. I was trying to ascertain if that was A, true, and B, some sort of personal bugaboo issue. All right. Yeah. 58 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 6 minutes after the hour, 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Chris LeBoy, executive producer Chris LeBoy, with his cat-like Google reflexes, found out what that guy was talking about.
I did.
Nate had the same suspicion I did about our last caller. I was like, why would you be against background checks? Is there something would something be trudged up in your personal background check? He was talking about men going on a dating site.
Yes.
Okay, but what he was talking about, the provision in the Violence Against Women Act
It's a provision called IMBRA, the International Marriage Broker Regulation Act. It's a federal statute that requires background checks for all marriage visa sponsors and limits several visa applications. So it's basically if you're going on a Russian bride site.
If you're trying to buy a Russian bride.
Right, and want to bring them back here for the purposes of marriage, it's to require a background check to make sure you're not going into, make sure the woman isn't going into, like, sexual slavery or something like that.
There you go. Okay, so what he was saying is, it means even men can't go on a dating site and even say hi without a background check.
That is...
He says no.
That is incorrect.
Right.
All right.
It depends on what kind of dating sites he's going to.
So I was correct.
Dating sites.
What he was saying was both incorrect, and I think it might have been a personal bugaboo. I could be wrong.
All three of us thought...
His background check might be clean as a whistle, and I could be completely wrong, in which case I preemptively apologize.
But that smelled of bugaboo.
Yes. All right. Yeah. After many years in radio, we've learned to sniff out bugaboo. Personal issue. Okay.
Like texting while driving.
Yes. Oh, Jim did a brilliant rant on that, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Well, yeah, because he's right. It's more than a bugaboo. People die. Okay.
But he gets really, really
But I'm just saying, if he is
that.
against drones, but if he had a personal drone to see someone texting, he said yesterday he would like Hellfire missiles to be attached to it.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Puts him, the second you think he's a libertarian, I don't know. All right. By the way, hey, there's lots of sunny, although with Jim here yesterday, we did show you the sunny side of Ebola and Gaza.
Yeah.
We can find the funny in anything.
Sure. We were pretty hysterical about Ebola yesterday.
Right. Anyway, but I've been dealing with death a lot personally, but it's also in the news. Julie in Seattle says, Steph, like you too, I'm hearing the creepy footfall of black robe death, casting a cold blood shadow over planet Earth and all of its teeming, puny, mortal inhabitants. But 10 years of listening to the Stephanie Miller has reduced the forebodings to this clip.
Death stalks you at every turn.
Yeah.
Death! There it is!
Yep.
Death! You know, at my age, the mind starts playing tricks.
Yep.
So, death! Oh, where were we? Death!
See? We even made that funny. See? Death. Now it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. And scene. Okay. Mike in Illinois, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Mike.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. All right, then. All right. How'd that go? Okay?
Now we got it.
All right. Hey, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to complain about the conservative holes that call my show and think you can say hole on the air. Hole. Okay. All right, so that happened. Okay.
And you let that happen.
And Travis said he had a lot in his craw to talk about. Too bad.
Oh, shucks, he can't get it all out. Sucks for him.
Yep. Sucks to be that hole. Okay, all right, I'll stop.
Too bad, so sad.
All right, one of the things we're going to talk to... Oh, by the way, we were talking about Mittens a lot last hour.
Yeah.
Being the biggest... Well, he was the biggest flip-flopper ever. But this is what they do. It's their bag, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Rand Paul... Charlie Pierce writes about this as well. We'll talk to him about it. Rand Paul just cannot stop rewriting his own history. See, when he's not plagiarizing, he's rewriting his own history. He wants you to stand with Rand.
Stand with Rand.
Right. But for all the work he's done to revise his record lately, it's getting a little hard to figure out where to place one's feet. Yeah, it's a little... Would you like to review the fun facts? He raised eyebrows on Monday by denying that he supported ending all U.S. aid to Israel, despite the fact that he authored a budget in 2011 that did just that.
Yeah.
In an MSNBC interview last week, he denied ever objecting to parts of the Civil Rights Act, except that Rachel Maddow has it on tape, even though fact-checkers concluded he was trying to essentially erase what he said in 2010 on Rachel Maddow's show, which he has on tape.
Whatever happened to the Rand Paul of courage of his convictions, of hardcore libertarian, and standing for principle, and...
He regularly criticizes President Obama for waging a war on coal by proposing new rules that will reduce carbon output from power plants. But in 2008, Paul committed the cardinal sin of calling coal a very dirty form of energy. Gasp. That is probably one of the least favorable forms of energy. Oh, gasped squared. Before Russia annexed Crimea earlier this year, Paul criticized John McCain for issuing a warning to Putin to keep his hands to himself. He said some on our side are so stuck in the Cold War era that they want to tweak Russia all the time, and I don't think that's a good idea. A few months later, the isolationism he and his crazy father, Captain Liberty, preached went out the window. The younger Paul urged the president to stand up to Putin by reinstituting missile shield defenses in former Soviet republics like Poland, or take Syria, where Paul has staked out four, count them, different positions with respect to the U.S. effort to remove chemical weapons from Assad.
Right.
In 2003, Paul appeared to endorse comprehensive immigration reform before the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, but aides immediately flipped the script, assuring reporters that he didn't support a pathway to citizenship for millions of nations' undocumented immigrants. Or, as he said with half a hamburger in his mouth. And then there's his outspoken effort against the government use of drones. Remember he did that whole filibuster?
I remember.
He recently said if someone comes out of a liquor store with a weapon and $50 in cash, I don't care if a drone kills him or a policeman kills him. All right, then. See, he's just as inconsistent as Jim Ward, who is also anti-drone and has filibustered against it, and yet would like one with a Hellfire missile for the next person he sees texting while driving. All right.
I don't think Jim's up yet to hear that.
If he is, he'll be calling.
Okay,
He may want to clarify his position. Should he run in 2016? Which, speaking of running in 2016, this is awesome. Did you see the lengthy profile of Rick Perry?
No.
In The Atlantic?
Oh, God.
He explains, of course, why he started wearing glasses almost immediately after his failed 2012 bid. Oh, this is good. He says a high school accident in his left eye is just now manifesting itself.
Now?
Now a warning?
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap.
You know that happens.
Sure.
Nasty sack of liquid crap.
Okay, even though many people, even elected Republicans in D.C., speculate they're simply an accessory to make him look smarter. Yes, he got his degree at LensCrafters. Perry apparently has schooled himself in detailed policy in case he wants to run again. He describes how he's positioning himself as a seasoned statesman.
Seasoned?
Sure. Okay. This part is I need some kind of music for this because this part is freaky. There's a part where he is hanging out with I don't know, some congressman and his wife Pam. Hi, please and thank you, Pam Perry. Okay, and here it is. The governor's huddled up with Pam, swapping stories and photos of the kids. Dogs, he has 4.
Okay.
Guns. I'm sorry. Pam is the representative's wife. His wife is Anita.
Anita Perry.
Anita Perry, please and thank you. Hi. Okay. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, so Pam, this is the congressman's wife, is wearing sporting custom-made boots made from a gator she shot herself while in Louisiana. Next thing you know, one of Pam's boots is off her foot and in the governor's hands. Perry flexes the sole, then sticks his face down inside and inhales deeply.
Oh, God.
He's got a foot fetish.
Ew.
I just love the smell of new leather, he announces happily. He pauses, looks over, and asks, this isn't going to wind up in your piece, is it? He likes to sniff women's shoes, the governor chuckles, then resumes his discussion with Pam about the best way to break in boots.
He's probably the one that wrote to you on your late-night talk show.
Right, that always kept asking me to take my shoes off.
Yes.
A couple of times
and
on there.
You humored him.
See, this is what I've created.
Yes.
All right. Hey, I know. Let's talk about something less contentious. Oh, back to Gaza. An Israeli government spokesman yesterday.
We'll be watching Hamas very closely. Hamas has a pattern over the last 3 weeks of deliberately violating ceasefires. If Hamas violates this ceasefire, so Israel is prepared to respond.
Have you checked Twitter today as to whether I am a Zionist puppet whose paycheck is signed by a Jew, or if I'm a
You're a Zionist puppet.
Hamas sympathizer? Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I haven't even said anything yet today.
Well, it's a good thing. You know, the ceasefire is still holding.
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
Yes, that is good.
Yay.
By the by, lots of good Obamacare news. We are going to talk to Jackie about that tomorrow. Some of it we already know. Oh, and I wanted to go back to Freedom Fries. Representative Walter Jones, Republican of North Carolina.
Is he the guy that came up with Freedom Fries?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yes, on impeachment.
I am one that believes sincerely that the Constitution says that when a president, be a Republican or a Democrat, when a president exceeds his authority, and you can't stop the president from exceeding his authority, then we do have what's called impeachment. We recently had a vote to go to the federal courts. I did not vote, Mike. I did not vote for that for this reason. I was one of 5. My problem with what my party is trying to do to sue will cost the taxpayers between $2 and $3 million.
Right.
Use the Constitution. That's what it's there for.
So he's for impeachment, not the suit.
Right. Absolutely. He should join that third party that Sarah Palin's going to lead. That is not teabaggy enough. He's absolutely right. Suing's not enough. That's for panty waste.
And yet Karl Rove says that impeachment is only coming from the White House.
Go for impeachment. It's like kissing your sister, suing the president. Come on. Okay.
Really?
I'm really trying to be a helper today. Trying to help the purity of the Republican Party.
The purity of the far right.
18 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Call the political.
Is that what it means? It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Charlie Pierce coming up. Nancy tweets, I give that desk dive a 3.7, not up to last week's solid 8s at all. I suspect overtraining. The dump button is on a desk for that conservative hole that just called and said hole. Okay. Mary in Illinois, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Mary. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You know, this is really ticking me off with these Republicans. From day one, they've been trying to get this president, this gentleman, out of office, even before he was elected on his campaign. And my feeling is the only reason they're doing it is because of 5-letter word, black. And that is...
Although that's not the word they use, but yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know, but they better come up with a better reason than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were talking about it right when he was elected. That's exactly what it was. It was the birther crowd started it, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
All through the campaign, and if they can't get to him, they use his children or his black, and I think it's disgraceful.
Yep.
Isn't there something that's in the Constitution about treating the president with respect?
No, unfortunately,
yes,
no.
I'm not sure the founders could have, envisioned exactly what's happening now, though. Yeah, it's wow. By the way, we will talk to Jackie about this tomorrow. In states where it's wanted, Obamacare working very well.
Hooray!
The headline, Obamacare already making a big difference in states that actually embraced it. States that expanded Medicaid and created their own health exchanges or worked closely with the federal government to cover more people have shown the largest drops in their uninsured rate. Weird. According to a new poll released by Gallup, leading the pack was Arkansas, where the uninsured rate has fallen by 10.1 percentage points so far this year, and Kentucky, where it has fallen 8.5 percentage points.
Arkansas, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we talked to Jackie about this. The other headline, Obama rate shock, not this time, and it's a whole, out here in California was what we talked about last week, but this story saying we're getting a clearer picture of Obamacare premiums for the next year, and with them another Republican myth about the law falls. There won't be rate shock this time around. Some markets will have larger increases than others. Some will have actually lower prices, but a clear trend is emerging. Overall, the 2015 premium increases will not be significantly worse than they were in the past, and they might even be a little better. And then, of course, the outlier is Florida, among others, places that have done nothing but block it, and it is so sad for the people that live in those states. Jason in D.C., you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Jason.
How are you?
Good, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted to comment. I understand everybody's got gripes about Rand Paul, but, one thing in particular, he's done more to point out the abuses of civil liberties that the previous and the present administration have done.
Right, but when he starts really running for president, he won't do anything about any of that.
Yeah.
He's already
He'll be like
said
every
pro-drone.
other.
He already said something pro-drone.
Exactly. He's going to be like every other politician. He's already showing signs of it.
Yeah.
And, I was on his side because he had courage of his convictions. I didn't agree with a whole lot of what he said, but I was on his side because he stuck to his guns. Right. But now he's not. Yeah. He's flip-flopping on everything.
Yeah. All right, more bad news. A U.S. Major General was killed in an attack in Afghanistan. A man dressed in an Afghan army uniform opened fire on NATO troops at a military base, killing a U.S. 2-star general, wounding 15 people, obviously number of American troops. The attack, he's believed to be the highest-ranking U.S. officer to die in the nearly 13-year war. Just reading that makes me think.
The highest-ranking officer to die since Vietnam.
Yeah. Rear Admiral John Kirby.
There are a number of casualties as a result of the shooting, perhaps up to 15, to include some Americans. Many were seriously wounded. Others received only minor injuries. The assailant was killed.
Rear Admiral Kirby again.
The Afghan National Security Forces continue to perform at a very strong level of competence and confidence and warfare capability. They have had a good year, securing not one but 2 national elections.
Okay. And one more time.
This is a security force that we believe grows stronger by the week, and they are already in the lead in combat missions throughout the country. They'll be completely in the lead for military operations by the end of the year. We see no change in that.
Okay, and Josh Earnest, White House press secretary.
While we have made tremendous progress in disrupting, dismantling, and defeating al-Qaeda operations and leadership in Afghanistan, and progress in winding down U.S. involvement in that conflict, this shooting is, of course, a painful reminder of the service and sacrifice that our men and women in uniform make every day for this country.
Yep. And the Tea Party wants to funnel money away from the sacrifices that men and women make.
By the way, speaking of, my gun stack today is quite thick because, you know, the whole reason we went into Afghanistan in the first place, terrorism. How about this? Did you know this? Toddlers killed more Americans than terrorists did this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just for those of you that... Americans hate terrorists and love our kids, right? So you might be shocked to know that preschoolers with guns have taken more lives so far this year than the single U.S. terrorist attack, which claimed 4 lives in Boston. And right on cue, this is just from yesterday's gun stack. 5-year-old shoots 3-year-old girl in Colorado. 5-year-old playing with a gun ended up shooting and injuring a 3-year-old girl in Colorado. Girl listed in critical but stable condition on Monday. According to police, a 9-year-old boy got the handgun from inside the home. Then a 5-year-old got the gun pointed at the girl, the victim's mother, home at the time. One of those responsible gun owners, I guess. 9-year-old was asked by police how he was able to manipulate the handgun. He responded by saying he learned it from video games. Oh, should we do one more? Minneapolis dad shot after confronting son's bullies on a bus. Minneapolis father was shot and killed after confronting a group of teenagers who were harassing his son on a Metro Transit bus. 16-year-old in custody. And that's only the very beginning of the gun stack for today. Yeah. Charlie Pierce, much more as we continue on the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 1-800-STEPH-12. Oh, let me finish gun stack real quick, since we were already, I was only about halfway through it. Illinois man accidentally Second Amendments himself to death while showing off his gun to his friends. Illinois man dead after accidentally shooting himself in the head in front of a group of friends Sunday night while showing off his firearm. Several witnesses told police they became alarmed, told him to put it away. He thought it was unloaded. And finally, fatal selfie man shoots himself in the head while posing with his gun for a Facebook gun. He was making a selfie.
I'll bet you he did one of those things where he wasn't coordinated enough to do one thing with one finger and leave the other finger alone. He hit the shutter button and the trigger at the same time. Bet you that's what happened.
All right. Only one thing to do now. There's only one man now that understands. And that's the author of Idiot America. Pierce. Charlie Pierce, political columnist for Esquire.com.
Why is everybody always laughing with me?
Hello, Charlie Pierce.
Multitasking is hard. You have one finger on the trigger, one finger on the phone, and your head up your butt.
Yes.
It's very difficult to do all those 3 things.
Good morning, sir. I
am very sad. I don't know that I'm going to be very funny on our segment today.
Why?
Because Santa Claus lost last night.
Who did?
Santa Claus.
Who's
Harry Bentivolio, Santa Claus from Michigan.
Oh, that's right.
He lost his primary to the foreclosure king of Michigan.
All right, try to soldier on, Charlie, please.
What?
I suppose it's better than losing to the Sausage King of Chicago.
No, but I'm telling you, if Santa Claus losing a primary to the foreclosure king doesn't sum up Republicanism in 2014, I don't know what does.
Actually, I know what does. I loved your piece on. You said over the last 2 days we've seen more conclusive evidence that a substantial portion of the unofficial Republican Party and the movement conservatism that its primary fuel exists primarily as a means for people to make comfortable careers out of fleecing the rubes, the country, and their party be damned. Charlie, I was saying I happened to be in D.C. this last weekend, and I visited my father's gravesite at Arlington, and
Where is it?
It's right near the Eternal Flame, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I always go there. I always go up there when I'm there, so I'll drop by.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can imagine. It's always emotional, and you know how any of us that have been through it, you remember it like it was yesterday. The 21 gun salute and the taps and them handing my mother the flag, saying "A grateful nation thanks you." But we were talking about public service. Friends of mine and I, and what it meant to people like my dad that actually were there to serve others, like not themselves. And this is what you write about. I mean, I look at Sarah Palin. Some of these people, they're just grifters.
Well, I mean, this whole the Move American Forward thing, where you're supposed to be sending packages to the troops, and it turns out they're using 5-year-old photographs and phony names and.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not Dante, but there's a special place in hell for these people.
Well, that's what exactly I was talking about, having been at Arlington and remembering,
And of course, your dad, served the public as much as anyone could serve a public in their lifetime before he ever got to being a politician by going to Nuremberg, for God's sake.
That's right.
Right. But I mean, Chris and I were talking about this Move America Forward. As you write this week, a Tea Party linked group that was supposed to be raising money to send packages to the troops overseas actually was sending what we in Massachusetts politics call kisses in the mail to the people behind the scheme and to the consulting firms of which they work, and also shuffling money into various political operations and campaigns. And as you were saying, it's beyond disgusting.
No, I mean, the important thing is integrity. Once you learn to fake that, everything else is easy.
Yeah. But I mean, and it's just. But to me, again, another example. I mean, Eric Cantor quits early. Why? To make more money more quickly.
To be a lobbyist, absolutely.
Right. I mean, it's anyway. Okay, the 5-minute rule that Charlie Pierce has established. People pay attention, because we've already been talking about Rand Paul this morning.
Man, I mean, he's lucky he didn't have to get Heimlicked.
He has to when he spit out that burger. That's right.
Damn, I mean, he looked like Kobayashi at the hot dog eating contest.
You said he was having lunch with Congressman Steve King, Republican of Hallucinogen. That's funny, because I thought it was Iowa. But anyway, you were talking about the 5-minute rule, by the way, which you say they make sense, any member of the Paul family, for 5 minutes, and exactly the 5-minute mark, they start to sound right.
Exactly at the 5:00:01 mark.
Right.
They will say something that make you think they're a space alien.
Right.
And then you feel stupid and are drowning in self-loathing for having listened to him for the previous 5 minutes.
But you said the 5-minute rule appears also now to have an application in the area of political cowardice as well, because it was at the 5-minute mark that he skedaddled. He flees the scene because you said flee in the interview. He let someone photograph him shaking hands with an inconvenient brown person. Yeah.
Yeah, I give Steve King credit for standing there and at least being condescending, not running away,
Yeah, exactly.
He's nuts, by the way.
Exactly.
He's insane.
And then you say, we covered this, but you say, and then there's Israel, on which Aqua Buddha has done himself a Cirque du Soleil over the past couple of years. He may not like it when reporters bring up his proposal from 3 years ago to end all U.S. foreign aid, including to Israel, but that was, in fact, his position, as
Yeah,
you
well,
say.
that's his technique. His technique is to say he didn't say the stuff he already said, and who are you worm, to bring it up?
Right.
Now that I'm a national figure, and didn't you hear my filibuster on drones?
So sad for him that kindly Doc Matto has his thoughts on civil rights on tape.
Oh, and is not shy about putting them on TV either, by the way. Yeah. And I think Chris will back me up on this. I think he needs to get a wardrobe guy, because those shirts he's wearing.
Right? Did I say that?
They make him look like a skeevy guy driving an ice cream truck at a playground.
You know what, though?
Chris unfortunately confessed earlier that he has a shirt like that.
I have a couple of shirts like that, actually.
Well, I'm sure they do, but they're in a steamer trunk in your attic. Or buried in the backyard. You're not, wearing them in public.
I actually don't fit into them anymore.
Yeah, I said the same thing you did, Charlie. I was like, what's with the carnival shirt? I mean, really?
Yeah.
Anyway, you also, your Gobshite column is a must-read for me. So you were quoting, who is this guy from the Reform Conservative, Yuval Levin? Is that his name?
Yeah, Yuval Levin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly what I quoted him on now, but it's pretty. Oh, the president, if the president acts unilaterally on the immigration crisis,
right,
it will be something like the greatest example of executive overreach in the history of the country.
Right.
Wait, no, stop. I'm old enough to remember others.
Yeah. You said, right, you said if the president acts to make the lives of people who come here a little easier, that's more extreme. An example of executive overreach in selling missiles to the mullahs, lying the country into war, reversing 2 centuries of American policy regarding torture. Yeah, it goes on and on. I mean, somebody was mentioning the new HBO Nixon thing. It's like... Do you want to actually know what a high crime and misdemeanor sounds like? Listen,
it's not like we don't have evidence,
Right.
It's not like we don't have first-hand evidence. Thank you, Richard Nixon, for making sure we have that forever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't believe that there's even more tapes. And every time there's a new tape, you're like, oh my God.
Really?
I mean, he is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, he's like Tony Soprano in this latest.
I don't know why. I mean, the Nixon Library fought all this for years, and they're kind of ladling these things out in dribs and drabs. They just should have dumped it on everyone 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Everything. Because now every 6 months we get, another example of how Richard Nixon is like history's yard waste.
Yeah, exactly. And also you said the Sunday shows were pretty quiet except for the new tune, Eek Ebola. It seems to be racing up the charts. Yeah, I mean, I was saying it really is talking about stopping.
Luckily, we have Donald Trump chiming in.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Disgusting, right? I mean, and Fox News and others fear-mongering about, maybe these kids at the Mexican border have Ebola.
Well, yeah, that's the one I love.
Yeah.
Fox News, hell, we've got members of Congress saying that.
Right, so it must be true.
Yeah, I mean, the kids with Ebola coming from Honduras, where they've never had a case of Ebola ever.
Right.
But I'm a little bit nervous about this one because I'm getting a feeling that folks don't really have a handle on it. There's a guy now in Mount Sinai in New York who they think is symptomatic. So.
They said yesterday that he's not.
Time to try to wedge it into the debate on immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Chris is saying, Charlie, that's what I thought I saw. They tested, but
they tested, but it turns out he doesn't have it.
Well, that's good.
It was just a lot more common infection that he had.
Yeah. My understanding, and this is only from what I read, is that this is the first time it's ever popped up in cities over there, which is what's scaring the hell out of everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're not following proper protocol by burying them. They're actually putting the bodies out in the streets.
Yeah.
Which is a little horrifying.
Yeah. Just on its merits, let alone the disease.
Exactly. Right.
I made the mistake of watching Meet the Press before I got on the plane back from Washington, and I thought to myself, I need to read Charlie Pierce immediately on this because he played the tape, of course, of Nancy Pelosi crossing the floor. But once again, David Gregory used it as look at how bad it's gotten on both sides. Both sides are, it's terrible. Sadly representative is what he said.
I mean, it's fairly common knowledge at this point that his days are numbered in that job, right?
Yeah.
He should just let his freak flag fly.
Yeah.
He should just call people lying swine and stuff on the air just to see what happens. But he'll never do it because he wants another job probably with CNN is what I hear.
But you say, no, Dave, what's sadly representative is that we have one of our two political parties that is utterly demented, the Speaker of the House that can't get his own damn bill passed because nutballs like Steve King are the power on the issue now. So he plays this clip of Nancy Pelosi getting upset and crossing the floor. It's just, that was just rude.
Oh, I meant to ask you, during your time in Washington, did you throw yourself at Senator Warren again?
I did not, because I did not have you as my handler.
That was great. That was great. Shortly on inauguration weekend, she came to a fundraiser for Al Franken. I was sitting with Stephanie, and I picked up Stephanie and threw her at Senator Warren like a javelin.
It's true. I've told the story many times. No, he shoved me. Like he seriously shoved me out of my chair, and he said, "Go now, or you're going to miss her."
Go, Charlie. Go, Charlie.
Thank you. And lastly, you covered Face the Nation. Yeah, to give Saxby Chambliss, who slandered Max Cleland's patriotism, a forum anywhere, I agree with you, is, and to defend torture, right?
What? Oh, yeah, I mean,
right.
because once again, the ultimate defense of the passive voice, mistakes were made.
Mm-hmm.
And the president hasn't exactly been a rock on this issue either, by the way. I don't mean to harsh your mellow late in the segment here.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, it's just this whole, the transcript that you publish. I mean, it's so, because as you say, whether it's my dad at Nuremberg or whatever, you talk about, let's see, Chambliss said waterboarding is one of the specific issues that was investigated by the Department of Justice from the standpoint, does it comply with the Geneva Convention? They made a determination that it's authorized, that it's not torture. And as you say, it had been torture for about 600 years before John Yoo.
Yeah, the people who do it, the people who used it knew it was.
Right.
That's why they used it.
Right. You say the inquisitors thought it was torture. The judges who hung Japanese found it to be torture. Generation after generation of torturers knew it to be torture. And then you say, some hacks in the Bush DOJ write a memo, and 6 centuries of common sense go up in flames. I mean, it's the world's gone insane, Charlie Pierce.
There's a lot of grimness out there in the world.
Yeah.
And now this is the wrong time, by the way, to vote Santa Claus out of Congress. It really is. This is the wrong time in history.
Because we need a lot of presents.
We will rue the day we have voted. Michigan will rue the day it voted Santa Claus out of Congress.
Christmas is canceled, just like on the Grinch. It is.
But we'll stand around the tree, arm in arm, and we'll sing, and Christmas. Exactly.
Yes.
Everything will be fine.
Yes.
Stephanie here's a who.
All right. I love you, Charlie Pierce.
Talk to you next week.
All right, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye. Love him. Love that man.
Guess whose voice I hear out in the anteroom?
I see his car. Carlos Alzorque. Comedian extraordinaire. For Coffee with Carlos next on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Very good.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show, where you can express yourself. 52 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEP-1 the phone number. What? Escape
coffee. I think it's like my man.
Coffee with Carlos Alzorque.
Have a Zimbabwe latte. I'll have a Kenya cappuccino. Even never has the same cup of coffee. Mountain grown coffee.
Carlos Alzorque.
I was going to make espresso. Handpicked by Juan Valdez. Coffee with Carlos. Good to the last drop.
Escape from Vagina Island.
I am here. Estoy aquí en la casa de Stephanie Miller. Estamos en Radio Free Speech. Yeah, I escaped. It was all, good morning.
We were talking about Rand Paul.
I escaped from Vagina Island like Rand Paul escaped.
Right. Explains why he took off from the immigration confrontation, and I said it's because he realized he was in public wearing that ice cream vendor shirt.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, oh my God, cameras, look what I am wearing.
Oh, I got customers. Hey, listen, kids, I got to spell it. I'm selling the SpongeBob Square popsicle thing, and I got to do a puppet show for them. I got to go. Yo tengo que salir, okay? Gracias. Keep on sueñoing, dreaming.
I thought it was just me, but Charlie said it too. What is up with that shirt? It's like multicolored stripes.
He worked at Farrell's. Remember Farrell's?
Farrell's, absolutely.
There's a birthday going on. I got to get my drum
around the restaurant.
Happy birthday! We're so happy for your birthday here at Farrell's. Vote for me.
And it has been misreported he didn't finish his burger. He only took one bite, and he almost spit that out.
I love the Reuben Kincaid guy leaning into the frame going, "Oh, I got to get out of here. Get on the bus.
Get on the big colored bus in your big colored shirt."
It all came together when Mom sang along.
Right? Let's see. Oh, yes, he explained to Fox News, Greta Van Susteren, what his hurry was. He said about 5 minutes before that, or 2 minutes before that, the video doesn't show that another reporter came up and said, will you do an interview? And I said, well, I need to take a couple more bites, and then we'll do an interview. And then I was told we had to leave, and I had to do the interview. So actually, I stood 10 feet from the people who were doing the sort of kamikaze interview, and I stood 10 feet from... Whatever.
It seemed like he was wrapping up his conversation with Steve King, too. He said, look, I'm going to wrap up this conversation. You could see it in his body language. I'm going to wrap up this conversation with you because somebody else is calling me away. Yeah. Why did you just tell the truth?
It's coincidence that it was just when the brown person came into frame.
Yeah.
Coincidence. All right. Yeah, they were... actually, Charlie said at least Steve King had the decency to stand there and be condescending to them.
Yeah. You speak English, right?
Oh, my God. Did you see he kept saying to the girl he's obviously having a conversation with, right. You speak English, right?
You understand the language.
I mean, you understand English. I mean,
and she's talking to him in English.
She goes, I obviously do.
I have a bachelor's degree from Arizona State.
Right. Was that the most blatantly... Yeah. Like, racist, just horrible?
Yeah. Even if it wasn't racist, it was condescending.
Yes. Yes.
It was one of the two.
And yes, she replied in English. Once again, yes, I obviously do speak English.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Let's take one from Mike in West Virginia. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show on Rand. Hello, Mike.
Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Carlos. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Yes. Point out to Chris that I think Rand's always been a politician. And the reason why I say that is look at the interview back when he was candidate, Rand Paul, running for when he was asked about the Voting Rights Act and could not respond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he was asked yesterday, or 2 days ago, by Casey Hunt of NBC News, hey, did you... And he said, I never said that. I never said that.
Right.
And those two things are just... And plus the serial plagiarizing is really going to come back and bite him in the rear end.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
You know, that and the fact that it looked like a Monty Python skit with Steve King. It really did.
I know.
It was like brave, brave Sir Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay! It's too bad he didn't have a guy to step on her neck like he did at that one campaign event that he had a couple years ago.
Right. That'll help him with the...
She's getting close. I need the neck stepper. He's getting close.
That'll help their whole war on women image. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Rose in Michigan, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Rose. Hello, Rose.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Go ahead.
Hi. Actually, it's Love. L-O-V.
Hi, Love.
Sorry, I didn't. Hi.
All you need is...
I'm calling about the primary that we had yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I think Charlie Pierce called on the Santa Claus
Yes.
yesterday, and the foreclosure team. I'm a real estate broker, and I think part of the problem was that the Santa Claus guy, Terry, I can't pronounce his last name, it starts with a B. He got in because of a special election that the former guy, Thaddeus McCarter,
Right.
who was running for re-election, he got caught cheating.
Okay.
So they had a special election, and they put the Santa Claus guy in. And he's a two-party wackadoodle. He really doesn't stand for anything. And I think that it was part of a plan because David Trott was planning on running, and that was an easy candidate to beat. And part of the problem is that David Trott used a lot of his own money in his campaign. Kerry didn't get any support from the Republican Party that fought so hard to get him in that seat in the first place. So he was outspent. And he wasn't able to advertise that he was the foreclosure team. He didn't have any money for advertising. He didn't even see commercials.
Okay. All right.
But me...
They foreclosed on his campaign. Oh, so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
All
but
right.
even those small elections, you can see all the big money pouring in.
Faraway Dog says we'll be right back. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. What are you doing? Look alive.
I'm looking at this little weird creature beetle walking around that looks like a snake or a
Oh,
branch.
my God.
See, we hook him into the Wi-Fi, and now he's all videoed up.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I've seen some cats juggling.
It is Coffee with Sexy Liberal Carlos. Sounds rocky. Hello.
I was just thinking about the president's approval rating, 40%. Not bad for a Congress that said no for 8 years, who wanted him done after the first 4 years, and for like tons of right-wing radio and a giant network dedicated to crushing him.
Yeah.
It's like strapping a 40-pound weight to Diana Nyad, and she's still swimming the English Channel. She's like, yeah, but her time was really slow. You strapped a 40-pound
Thank you for that
anchor
episode
to her.
of really good analogies. Thank you.
I was thinking about that on my walk this morning.
I mean, Eric Bowler and I talk about this every week, Carlos. We've got all of this good news about Obamacare. I mean, great economic news, great job news.
But Stephanie,
most job
it's not perfect.
Right, but my point is you are correct. They have succeeded in dragging him down with them because then people just go, oh, look, they all, and the mainstream media is complicit in that. Like, oh, they all do it. Oh, look at both sides and they can't get along. It's just,
Although there are progressives that might say, like, he should have ended the war, he should have ended Guantanamo.
Well,
we might
did.
realistically
and
say
he tried
that
to end Guantanamo.
Afghanistan is not a good situation, obviously, with what's just going on. There was that one book. What was that one book I had mentioned on a previous episode? I think it's No Good Men Left Standing. It was a commentary by a guy on MSNBC. I forget the author's name, but it's not a winnable, quote-unquote.
Look at when he
there
got
are no
bin
goals
Laden.
there.
First of all, we wouldn't have had to go in Afghanistan
That's right, Tora Bora.
if Bush would have gotten bin Laden the way Obama
snuck
did.
him out.
Right. But anyway, even when he did that, remember, people criticized him.
That's right.
Like, oh, why now? Wasn't soon enough. Oh,
Right.
well, it's too late.
Trying to nation build.
He shot him in the wrong eye. Like,
No wonder presidents don't listen to their detractors.
40% ain't good.
by the way, we are
Ain't bad.
in the midst of escape
Escape from
Vagina Island. Carlos
Papillon.
has escaped his wife and 2 baby daughters.
Mm-hmm. Morning.
And when I say escape, I mean just in
a friendly.
friendly daddy will be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah.
Once he gets the,
My
the
GPS
adoration
done
from,
broke. I'm going to be a little bit late.
he gets the adoration of a bunch of complete strangers,
That's
as
right.
you would say, and then daddy will be back.
That's right. Adulation of complete strangers is more important at this time.
The people on Twitter love you.
More than my family, I bet. They don't make me do laundry.
They're
I get
yelping the bejesus out of him. By the way, did you see this story? Hotel threatens to charge guests $500 for every negative review.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, those reviews will be anonymous, I guess.
A hotel in Hudson, New York, under fire for attempting to charge guests a $500 fee if anyone in their party left a negative online review. The policy may not have made Union Street Guest House any money, but it did earn them a 1.5-star rating on Yelp and hundreds of reviews, warning potential visitors to steer clear.
Mm-hmm. That's like Gandolfinish Hotel. You like it here? Say something nice.
You know, maybe you don't come back to stay here again. You know what I'm saying?
Union Street's Facebook page has also been inundated with links to the Page 6 story. The hotel has been flagged as permanently closed on Google Maps, even though it's still in business. Oh, do not mess with the Yelpers, my friends.
The bed bugs spelled out on the wall, this place sucks.
I think
writing is moving.
I think we were listed as permanently closed on Google. Remember that?
Right, that happened to a Sexy Liberal show.
Yes, it was the one in here in L.A.
Yeah, well, we just had our website hacked here. Right wingers are insane.
They're terrible people.
Yes, no, we've had that happen a bunch of times. Like, threats called in to theaters. Right. And what was? They showed our venues permanently closed.
The theater in Westwood where we were performing.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
And they steal money from troops.
Yes, Move America Forward.
Yes,
is the name of the group. Stealing money. They're saying they're sending care packages to troops,
but they're funneling the money to Tea Party PACs. Wow, the right is.
And then
awful.
they're using troops as props in their photos. They're smiling troops from a totally different war and different organization actually sent the stuff.
Isn't that Okinawa in the background? They're playing with a red.
I always save Sports Stack for you after.
Sports Stack. Where's my cigar?
Where's my Jock Jam CD?
Hey, you heard about the Spurs? Is that what you're going to tell me about the San Antonio Spurs?
Yes.
How did I know?
Because you like to talk about sports when you get out of Vagina Island. The San Antonio Spurs announced the hiring of the first female coach in the NBA, assistant coach, Becky Hammon.
Yay, chicks.
Becky Hammon, wasn't she the one because she couldn't make the women's team, played for the Soviet Union?
No.
She's the one?
She's in her 16th WNBA season. She announced she would retire in July. She was a 6-time WNBA All-Star.
I'm wondering if it's one and the same. It was a Sports Illustrated article many years ago. It was a woman that I thought was Becky Hammon. It was a really great point guard and was trying to make the USA team, and then she decided to play for the Soviet Union, one of the World Championships and or the Olympics. But it may not be Becky Hammon, but good for the San Antonio Spurs. I was listening to that story on the way in on another network.
Yeah, we take a moment to say.
Absolutely. Because the young kids are saying, this guy made a great point. I'll say who it was. It was Colin Cowherd, because some people were writing in on the women won't be respected, and what happens if a player is sexual. He's like, dude, I work in an office with other women. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Most of us work with other women in the workplace.
Oh.
Yeah, I work with a woman in the workplace.
Right?
Yeah, for God's sake, swear.
Friggin' delight, isn't it?
Yes, Mama.
I am warm.
At least I don't have to deal with your monthly visit anymore.
Oh, just a bitch full time.
Exactly.
It's all dried up down there. Like a Texas farm.
Barroom doors.
Like Lake Travis, it's withering away.
Like a Sally Field movie. Trying to save the farm.
Like half a cow caucus with flies buzzing around it.
Sally Field was in a movie like that.
They're not flies.
They're not flies.
I think you're right. Speaking of movies and chicks.
Places in the Heart. I think that was it.
I love me some Ghostbusters. There's reportedly an all-female Ghostbusters. It's a remake.
Necessary.
Yes.
No.
I
we're going to have a Witches with Eastwick with all men? God.
I would support that if you would support my all-female Ghostbusters. The director of Bridesmaids and The Heat, both of which I loved, in talks with Sony, reportedly on a Ghostbusters reboot. The trade reports the film. Variety says it may feature female comedy actresses in the lead Ghostbusting roles. Let's cast it. Come on.
This makes as much sense as an all-male Steel Magnolias.
Absolutely.
That would also be awesome, and I would watch that. Oh, who would play Shelby? Lindsey Graham. Oh, my God. We're casting it for...
Drink your juice, Shelby.
Ridley Scott's doing it all.
Dresses all in pink all the time.
Ridley Scott's doing that new Theo and Lewis movie. Got them two men that go on a road trip. And...
anyway, but come on. Let's cast it. Let's...
Stephanie Miller.
Well...
Me and Drag.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Right? Melissa McCarthy.
Wendy McClendon-Covey.
Do we need anything else?
Wendy McClendon-Covey has to be in it.
You're basically casting
Wiig.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome. Oh, by the way, Sandra Bullock is
Whoopi Goldberg.
Is the highest earning actress according to Forbes.
Who is?
Sandra Bullock made $51 million last year.
Gravity was a huge movie.
It was very good,
and I think she got like a portion of the proceeds.
Right.
She knows what she's doing.
Right. Jennifer Lawrence is second at $34 million. Jennifer Aniston at $31 million.
I think that's good for a woman that's 50 years old to be a top earner. I think that says a lot about...
What is your point? Are you going to bring up my fly-ridden Netherlands once again?
Like a dusty saloon in the Mojave Desert. I'll take me a whiskey.
It's like the grapes of wrath down there.
Yeah.
You don't have any idea what's down there.
You're right, I don't.
Vicky in
Ground zero.
Vicky in Kansas, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
I just wanted to call and tell you that you're awesome.
Oh, why, thank you. So there, take that.
That's all.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. See?
What?
And that includes all of me, including, you know.
Yeah. My friend. Hey, Whitey, I'll help you out.
I thought you were going to go into your Dr. Leakey thing, so all right. Brian in Michigan, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Stephanie and gang.
Hello.
Good morning.
Based on what Charlie Pierce was saying, since Santa Claus lost the election here in Michigan, does that mean there is a war on Christmas?
Oh, yeah?
Yes, Bill O'Reilly will be all over this. Now, that's an actual war on Christmas. Thank you for that.
They will not elect Santa Claus to deliver choices to children of the world. It's sad.
Exactly.
Maybe Santa Claus should be a woman, Stephanie. Jesus.
Or black.
Yeah,
Black
a black
Santa.
woman.
Maybe he was too
Who lit
scared.
that fire in there? You turn that fire. How am I supposed to get down that chimney and deliver those toys? Lighting the fire.
Ho, ho, hody, ho.
Ho, ho, hody. Oh, man. Don't go digging up old racist bits of mine, please.
Oh, dear God. All right, let's pause briefly.
Why?
Sounds like a country singer. These old racist bits of mine. They pop up all the time.
There is a controversy every year when some mall hires a black Santa.
Yeah.
Okay, 17 minutes. We just covered the news. That's all. What?
Do you want me to get that during the break?
No. What? No.
No, absolutely.
17 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Cool. I'm just doing my celebratory dance because Travis informed me that I was right about Becky Hammond, the country treasonous traitor who played for the Soviet Union, and Putin, one of Putin's 4 basketball slaves, is now working for the Spurs, who use Mexican kids to sing the national anthem during the NBA Finals. What's wrong with this country? Sorry.
All right.
I was right.
Well, that was a departure from your original feminist
and
support of her as the first NBA assistant.
I'll come full
coach.
circle.
A female. Okay. Well, fine.
All right.
All right. Oh, good. Someone has located the exact ridiculous shirt that Rand Paul was wearing. The ice cream. There it is. Yeah. It is really hideous. Ralph Lauren, multicolored striped shirt.
Mm-hmm. It's made of gum.
Oh, by the way, the exact shirt that he was wearing, our friend Julie located it. It's in the junior section.
Oh.
And she said, LOL, of course it is, because he's miniature. Remember when Kathleen Madigan told us that she met him, and despite her only being 5'3" in heels, she was taller than the Lilliputian libertarian. Oh, I remember that. Oh, he shoe shops in junior.
You must
for their ice cream vendor shirts.
You must be this tall to run for president of the United States. If I wear a striped shirt, it'll distract him. I'm not making fun of short people because my wife is taller than mine, and my daughter soon will be in about 4 years.
You think so?
I'm a short. Yeah.
You're a shorty McSortis.
The second one, Austin, is a beast. She will surpass me. I need to get down.
Pardon me?
Daddy, I want the car keys. She'll be like that coach for the
Becky Hammond. No, Becky Hammond was the point guard. She was not tall, but taller than me. So thank you for playing my racist Black Santa Claus.
Oh, we haven't played it on the air yet.
No. Thank you for playing it.
We played it before.
You played it before, and it's unlike Rand Paul. I will not run from my past.
Yes.
I will embrace it and be embarrassed by it.
And I had forgotten that we did on my late night TV show. You did Christopher Walken
as a Santa Claus way back when, pre Jay Moore. Even though Jay Moore is the man, when you do Walken, I mean, if you want a Walken, you gotta go more. But Merry Christmas, Timmy. Timmy wants a bike. Oh, guess what, Timmy? There are no bikes because there's no more Santa Claus because you were crying because the line was too long, Timmy. You scared the puppies, and they dove underneath the newspapers in the cages, and the puppies are dead, Timmy. You killed the puppies by crying.
Christopher Walken would be a bad Santa Claus. That would be a bad casting move.
No.
He's terrifying.
Your chimney is too small, like your head. You're like Beetlejuice. You don't need Christmas. You need plastic surgery.
And now, a story about a bear. Okay. I like to do that at least, once a week?
Yeah. A bear?
Well, because I was just in Yellowstone and I saw a bear. I saw a grizzly in person.
As one does when one's in Yellowstone.
Yogi. Hey, Mr. Sir.
I had a number of picnics in the Yellowstone.
Did you have a picnic basket?
Yes, on my bicycle.
But Yogi, it's all dry down there.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Is that a callback to my?
Yes, to your cooter.
To my dusty cooter? Really?
Yeah.
There are no geysers down there.
Okay, this is a good story. Fisherman saved from deadly bear attack by his Justin Bieber ringtone.
Oh.
Igor Vluten
Gluten.
Igor, Def
That's
Leppard
not even
song
Russian.
beginning.
What was that I was doing?
I have no idea.
It's the beginning of that Def Leppard song.
Okay, you try to pronounce Vorozhbitsyn.
I got to see it. Alice Rocky's pretty good, so I think it's pronounced Alice Rocky.
He was walking to his favorite fishing spot in northern Russia when a bear leapt out of the woods and pinned him down, swiping and clawing at him, mauled and bleeding. He thought he was about to die, and then Justin Bieber's Baby started playing on his phone.
Baby, ooh.
I'm so sad for you that you know that.
Well, he couldn't escape it for a while. Really.
I wonder if that Axel F, what do you call the frog ringtone works. I would imagine anything might work. That would work.
Yeah,
okay.
That would work.
He said, I couldn't believe my luck when the phone went off, and he fled. I know that sort of ringtone isn't to everyone's taste.
No. Why did he have it?
Media, it says, according to bear experts, bears are easily scared away by sudden loud noises, ideally made with air horns, yelling, or apparently the tinny screeches emitted by douchebag teeny boppers, allegedly singing. So that works.
Scared by young Canadian crooners.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if the Orlando Bloom ringtone was done the same.
The other question everyone was asking, besides what is up with Rand Paul's shirt, is what is up with Bruce Jenner's hair?
What? Oh, it's all.
Is it going Madame Trousseau on him?
He's been growing it long and wearing it in a ponytail, but now it seems to be a mullet.
A mullet.
But it's frizzy.
Frizzy.
Right.
Like he's over-processed it and he can't control it.
Getting all Kate Jackson on him. He's one of the angels now.
I had his picture in the Wheaties thing in my locker.
1976 Montreal Olympics.
I thought I would date and kiss and marry him.
It's
I don't
not
know
the same person.
Decathlete champion.
Why? Because he looked female back then?
No, he didn't.
He was pretty androgynous looking, but a very handsome guy.
He's always been androgynous looking.
Perhaps
Except for the
perhaps it
Adam's
was an
apple.
early sign
It
for
was
Mom.
part of his appeal.
Right.
He looked like Ann Coulter.
Us Weekly says Jenner is continuing his makeover.
Pardon our dust.
And they report he has damaged ends, a result of overcoloring. Yeah, that's it is hard to unsee that hairdo, particularly if you like me had his picture in your locker in height. All the guys had Farrah Fawcett's picture, and all the girls had Bruce Jenner.
And now he has Farrah Fawcett's hair.
Right.
Feathered.
No, ironically, isn't that weird how that happened?
I told you he's an angel. See, came full circle. Angels, I have a job for you.
All right, in Kinky Celebrity Stack, I knew there was another reason I loved her. Helen Mirren loves a jolly good spanking.
Oh, really?
She was asked for her opinion on the upcoming 50 Shades of Grey film. And she said, well, whips and chains are not my style, but who doesn't love a jolly good spanking once in a while?
Wasn't she in Caligula? I think she was one of the famous people that was in Caligula.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on, let me check.
All right, Google that, Shizzle.
Helen Mirren.
Right. She was also asked what she orders at Subway, and she said, my motto in life is you can never go wrong by treating yourself to a nice footlong. Wow.
Slut. Helen Mirren.
Slut.
The 100-foot journey into Subway.
She's a slut. Look at her slut.
Well, she is saucy.
Isn't she?
She was in Caligula.
Saucy.
Right. And isn't she in the new movie, The 100-Foot Journey?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
About an Indian cook who's trying to steal her recipes. Maybe I'll seduce him and get a jolly good flogging.
A flogging?
I like the black.
All right. 29. Shake it off, everybody. Shake it off. 29 minutes after the hour. Right back. More Coffee with Carlos on the Stephanie Miller Show. Stephanie Miller Show. 34 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEP-1 to the phone number. Coffee with sexy liberal Carlos Alazraqui. Carlos, why we haven't had you dip your toe into the Middle East conflict.
Yeah, I'm watching more and more. There was a nice representative on MSNBC, Oren, the former ambassador to Israel from the United States, was on, and then another gentleman from the PLO. It's interesting since they are supposed to be one country. Hamas, not the best people in the world. There was video on the Huffington Post, Indian news television station. Had footage of where Hamas was setting up bombs or rockets in a populated hotel area, and they removed the tent, and the next thing you know, it was being launched from there. But again, this is what
just so you know, just to preface this, I am a Zionist puppet whose paycheck is signed by a Jew, in addition to being a Hamas terrorist sympathizer.
Wait,
depending on
you can be both?
Yes.
You can be both.
Yes,
absolutely.
there is nothing you can say.
Oh, you can't be either or.
Involving this, no, because it is. But we were saying the good news is the truce appears to be holding for the moment.
It appears to be holding, but you can't. It's unfortunately that the Palestinians have no military presence that's not subversive and illegal and dangerous and terroristically attuned, let's say, so that Israel can, if they want to encroach land, which they have been doing with illegal settlements, can just continue to take as much land as they want, slowly but surely, just pushing the Palestinians into this tight little jam pack where it's blockaded and nothing can come through, so that the only hope they have is for somebody like Hamas to lob rockets into Israel. So it's a catch-22. You almost have to go, look, it's almost that holy grail.
Except that the Hamas's, what do you call it, a focus is to wipe Israel off the map, and that's never going to happen.
But you could argue that there are some Zionists that do exist that want Palestinians wiped off the map. And who's to say that this slow encroachment of settlements is not a subtle way of doing the very same thing that the Palestinians want to do? In other words, if we just keep outpopulating them, well, eventually this land will be ours. I'm not just saying that's a mainstream thought, and nor is probably Hamas. Unfortunately, they have...
How do you feel about truckers that go back and forth between Hamas and...
I do not like that truckers are blocking the checkpoints in Palestine. So, yes, obviously, it all dials back to...
I just figure it's poke a stick into all our controversies.
Serious here. It all boils down to moderate voices being heard. I'm not a fan of Netanyahu. I'm not a fan of Hamas.
Yeah,
that's
what we've been saying.
My brother and I have these discussions. Can we return to 1967 borders and bring everything back, two-state solution, get rid of Hamas, get a legitimate government or a democratically elected government that's aligned with Abbas instead of Hamas?
You're not going to get that with Hamas
and you're not going to get that with Netanyahu.
By the way, we were talking
They're not going
about
to pull back settlements.
Rand Paul flip-flopping on because he hadn't said, he was on record as saying we should cut off all aid to, but he meant to everybody, not just Israel. But interestingly, Bill Maher said the same thing this past week, that he thinks we should cut off aid to everybody.
He says we should take off the training wheels.
Well,
Israel can take off the training wheels now. They can act on their own, is what Bill Maher, I believe, said. And to some extent,
he was saying because we're just buying friendship, which I do, as you're one of my paid friends.
It's like being in a fraternity, yeah.
Yeah. You said you're coming to my party this weekend because you pick and choose, like how...
I figure I can come to one of every 3 parties that she has and still keep my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But secretly...
But at least we're clear you're a paid friend.
Yeah.
You feel... like you have to, you feel obligated.
Right.
And I don't care.
I just go for the free snacks.
Right. You come sometimes, same thing.
Yeah, bring my kids, get out of the house.
Exactly, to escape. You will do anything to escape Vagina Island.
But he brings Vagina Island with him.
I know, he actually does. It's a traveling Vagina Island.
Yeah.
It's a flotilla.
Barnum and Bailey's Vagina Island Circus.
He actually came with a baby strapped to his chest, like an alien. It was
like it was suckling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was stuck to me.
Right. Yeah. Just saying, harder to pick up girls that way to party.
Yeah.
Whatever. Brought the wife.
Easier.
Kids, I don't know.
Easier.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at baby. Yep. Borrow a baby. Get a woman.
Depends on how close your wife is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She's across the room. You could make up a story.
Yeah.
Right. Anna Paquin will always be bisexual. I just thought I'd do a little story for all of us.
Good for you.
Okay.
The actress who has 22-month-old twins with her husband was... I just would have given anything to hear this. Was forced to correct Larry King. I can see where Larry might be a little foggy on this whole...
On the fluidity of sexuality?
Hello. Gay, straight. Go ahead.
Yeah, gay, straight. What are you?
queried whether marriage means she's now a practicing bisexual. And she said, well, I mean, I'm married to my husband, and we're happily monogamously married. Larry said, but you were bisexual. Mm-hmm. She replied, well, I don't think it's a past tense thing. Are you still straight if you're with somebody? It doesn't mean you're not. If you were to break up with them or you were to die, it doesn't prevent your sexuality from existing.
Right.
It really doesn't work like that. I just sense Larry at home still befuddled by this.
Glasses still fog. What's going on?
You think he... Never mind.
What? Stop it. Don't. He's my friend. Don't say it. Hello.
Rubbed one, you know.
No, stop
What?
it. No. Oh. However, no, this was my nephew. My nephew's bisexual. He was in here. He talked to us about this, that it doesn't... There's a lot of sort of... what's the word? Like misinformation about that. It doesn't make you unable to commit, to one sex or whatever.
Right. Just because one is heterosexual. Stop being, bisexual if you fall in love with someone. Right. Whatever sex. Okay. Now we've covered that. Oh, thank God. Madonna and Lady Gaga. Speaking of,
are clashing over the our Berlin Wall show.
Oh.
They both are keen to sing at a special event to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the collapse of the...
Will Hasselhoff be there again?
On November 9th. Pardon me?
Hasselhoff was the man on the wall in 89.
Well, he sang on top of the wall when the wall came down. Do you remember that?
In 1989, November.
Happily, I do not remember that.
I remember
now you've put it in my head.
Well, it was broadcast all over the world.
Want to hear the crappy joke I wrote when that happened? November. It was November 1989. Yes. Somewhere on that wall, there's some fraternity guys like, I don't know what's going on with this politics stuff, but those East German women are just giving it away.
An insider says it could reignite their long-running feud as the date draws near because neither are used to being told no. Only Zombie Reagan can come back and solve this as to whether they're going to choose Gaga or Madonna.
Lady Gaga, tear off that dress. Tear down the... Oh, whatever. Oh.
Maybe they could play on either side of the wall, and then Lady Gaga could build a secret tunnel underneath the wall, and then pop up on stage like Roger Waters did with Gilmore did during Roger Waters' tour when they thought they were all broken up, and then Roger Waters was doing his tour, and then you looked on top of the wall, and there was Gilmore doing his guitar solo, and the crowd went nuts.
Because Pink Floyd reunited for a very brief time.
2008.
Wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All I'm saying is...
At the wall. It was a concert at the wall.
At the wall.
At the Berlin Wall.
It's a wall.
I understand.
That's right. I brought the wall. Did you know Becky Hammond played for the Soviet Union?
Yes. Did you know that there is such a thing as deep-fried alcohol? I bet you did not know that.
Deflation. Come on now.
It's a thing. It's
now
a thing.
Deep fried.
It's a thing. Yeah. If you're in England, you can taste the weirdest bar snack ever invented, deep-fried alcohol.
Okay.
How do they do this?
They invented the Jack and Karina Clarkson invented deep-fried alcohol.
Okay.
They soaked pieces of sponge cake in different alcoholic beverages like sour apple schnapps.
I just think I'm gonna barf. Andy Caps down here.
I got a headache thinking about drinking that.
The cream and cola strawberry flavors of the brand Sidekick and Bailey's.
Look,
Bailey's and sponge cake might be good.
Look, honey, I'm away at the pub and we're doing kitchen experiments, so I'm going to be longer than I thought. But I promise you a delicious birthday treat.
That's going to lead to more stories like this. Naked girl. No, I'm sorry. That's the second one. No, drunk girl.
You had me at naked girl.
No, she was closed.
Is this in Florida?
Closed? Like the theater in Westwood?
No, not Florida. Wow.
Closed.
What are the chances that this story is not in Florida? Drunk girl crashes into firehouse with a stolen snake draped around her neck.
Of course.
After allegedly stealing a python from Petco, a highly intoxicated Albany. There we go.
Upstate New York.
Yeah.
Upstate.
Where I'm from. If it's not, it's not Florida, it's got to be somewhere.
Albany's on the exact opposite side of the state from Buffalo.
She had to drape the snake around her neck and drove her Prius into the local firehouse.
Oh.
Well, she drives a Prius, so...
Well, she's environmentally conscious.
Trying to save the universe.
An animal lover, obviously.
Carpooling with a snake, getting the carpool lane, but she's pretty, she didn't need it.
Future wife list from upstate New York.
Come on now.
Animal lover, likes a tipple.
Was the python wearing a seatbelt, though?
Environmentally friendly. Maybe the python was a
seatbelt. Good night. Come on, Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Was that a seatbelt, or are you happy to see me?
Here's a story that you would think involved alcohol, but it did not.
Okay.
Naked man rescued from storm drain. Did you see this out here in Chula Vista?
Oh.
It's hot. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
North San Diego authorities rescued a naked man who told authorities he got lost inside a storm drain after seeking underground refuge from the heat. This could have been you if I didn't get this air conditioning put in here.
That's true.
Remember how hot it was? Okay.
It was, well, yeah.
The man said he had been hot. He climbed into the storm drain about 10:30 a.m., got lost, and been wandering around in the sewer system for hours.
Yet another
But much
excuse to get
cooler.
away.
Much cooler.
All excuses to get away from Vagina Island. Sorry, honey. I sought
that could be you.
refuge from the heat. And
You could be found naked in a storm drain.
I thought I was playing Left 4 Dead 3 and zombies were chasing me, so I just kept walking down that tunnel. Left 4 Dead 3 doesn't exist yet.
All right.
Oh.
Yes.
Highly Scatological on Twitter says they should deep fry tequila in cornbread and dip it in salsa/guacamole.
Ooh.
That sounds
Now
tasty.
you got the Brits a flutter. Good idea, mate.
All right, let's think on that.
Sounds tasty.
Back with the remaining moments, and it only gets weirder. Normally, the last segment is, yeah, you don't want to miss that. Very dark. He's going to go very dark. I can feel it.
Yep.
45.
Yeah, it's coming.
45 minutes after
It's
the
welling
hour.
up.
Right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. 15 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEP-12 Coffee with Carlos Alvarez-Rocky.
We're here.
Stephanie Miller Show.
Going dark.
Exactly. Wait, what was I just going to tell you?
I don't know.
How would you know?
You didn't tell me, so how could I know?
Because you were feeding the trolls on Twitter. That's what you were doing during the thing, using the C word and such. Don't feed the trolls. They lose their fear of humans and they're a danger to us all.
Use the C word.
To a man.
See you next Thursday. Why isn't it see you next Thursday?
Think twice, speak once tweets, note to Chris, when referring to dried up, dusty, barren patch, you should say raisins of wrath. You should not refer to my area as grapes of wrath.
Grapes of wrath. Raisins of wrath. You're right.
Because it's dusty on there.
Absolutely.
Like an unpopped popcorn kernel.
I stand corrected. Chris regrets the error.
My lady parts are not like an unpopped popcorn kernel.
They're unused.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
They just kind of rattle around in the
Try
bottom
to
of the
put it in
bag.
the microwave to revive it.
It doesn't work.
I wish you were Twitter shy like Kerry Washington. She was nervous about joining the Twitterverse.
Yeah.
You were a little hesitant.
I was a little hesitant.
Yeah.
But
Me
now
too.
you understand it.
Me too.
And now you understand it, right?
I know, sort of.
Okay.
Armed with 140 characters, I can change the world.
She said there is a real power in social media. The world has become a global community, and that's very exciting, but I'm a private person, so I was nervous about it. I didn't know how to interact this way without feeling like I was violating a sense of having a personal life outside and separate from work. We had her on the show early before, pre
during the first campaign.
Yes. Yes.
During the first campaign or the second campaign?
I think both. I did a live event with her.
You did.
For Obama. She's awesome.
Yep.
I'm mostly a queen of the retweet and the favorite.
Mm-hmm. Because that's all you do. You don't have an original thought.
I did, and then I blew my wad early. I blew my Twitter wad way too early, and now I know.
So you had one original thought. You tweeted it.
I had a few.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of my tweets are sports related.
Now I'm just like a mom at a swim meet. I'm like, good. Oh, look. Yay. Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mama likes that. Ooh, favorite. Yay. Because I do. I have the smartest, funniest listeners.
You hand out participation ribbons.
You know what I'm going to do?
I do. I'm just in there giving out T-ball ribbons.
Yeah.
I am going to tweet Ebola because according to Fox News, you can catch it that way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. If you just look at a tweet with Ebola on it, you'll catch it.
Right. Here's what they do. They quote some right-wing lunatics, and then they go, some say.
No,
right,
they say could. What's his name saying? I'm just saying it could. It could spread.
Right, the kids at the
and
Mexican
kangaroos
border.
can fly. They could fly.
Right.
The proper superstorm came by Australia and lifted them into the air.
There could be a Sharknado with sharks with Ebola, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
That chomps off Tara Reid's hand.
It could happen, Stephanie.
Right.
According to Fox, it could happen.
Right, because a couple of Republican lunatics said they could be carrying the toddlers coming across the Mexican border could have Ebola.
Hondurans. Oh, that's what Steve King said too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the drug smugglers. You understand?
Oh, right. But now they're speculating that they could be carrying Ebola based on absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Right. On
and
zero,
then they would have
zero
to cough,
evidence.
pee, or can I use the E word?
No.
On you.
No.
Wow, it's a technical term.
No.
What?
No.
What?
Evacuate?
Oh.
Evacuate the bowels?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can say that.
And I
thought you meant with a J, not with a V.
Evacuate the bowels. It's like release
We're
the
just
house.
nervous lately. For whatever reason, a lot of callers, a lot of our guests seem to think it's okay to.
What happened in the good old days when it used to be release the hounds, now it's free.
Evacuate the boat.
I had to bleep Jackie Scheckner last week.
Well, she said
I dropped an
good
F-bomb
job.
the other day.
Yeah, you did.
Or
Yes.
no, it was a fac bomb. Fac.
Okay.
Spackle.
Okay. All right.
It's going to get dark. Just weird.
Hey, I would have found this touching as an animal lover. Miley Cyrus got a tattoo in honor of her late dog.
Her last album. Good night, folks.
But she has a bunch of other tattoos, including a cat on the inside of her bottom lip, a portrait of her grandmother, a dream catcher, a quote by Theodore Roosevelt, a skull, the word karma, and a mini replica of Leonardo da Vinci's anatomical heart drawing.
Oh.
So she's not really that,
Okay.
discriminating with her tattoos.
She got a real estate.
She'll tattoo any old thing.
Like a bench, like this space for hire.
By the way, what's the latest thing Melanie Griffith is doing to cover her Antonio Banderas?
Oh, she wears a bandage.
Oh, no. I didn't know that they bust up.
Yep,
You
they
didn't
busted
know
up.
that?
Where was I?
I don't know.
I was in Puerto Banús. I was too busy to know what happened. What happened to Melanie Griffith? I'm at home watching old reruns of the movie Working Girl when she's vacuuming in her underwear. I'm married to a very bad Alec Baldwin.
Thank you. That was very good.
Thank you.
Every day to hear Antonio Banderas. You were saying, we mentioned this earlier, we'll talk to Jackie tomorrow, who hopefully will not say job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and she also said pick.
Yeah, D-word pick.
She is newly
Can't say
single.
that.
She is newly single and very, very saucy.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Antonio Banderas is available. Wait a minute, Jackie Scheckner is available. I did not know this. We can have
Anyway.
some nasal sex. Instead of Nasonex. It was bad.
Okay.
Just go on.
All right.
I
I'm
apologize.
going to pretend that you didn't say that.
No.
I'm just going to, okay. We were saying that, Obama, a lot of great stories about Obamacare, and where is that, like you said, I'm not surprised at the president's approval rating. With all they report in the mainstream media is negative stuff and not actual good news that's happening. This one, Obamacare rate shock? No, not this time. There goes another Republican myth. Remember that rates were going to skyrocket, blah, 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 death spiral.
Death panel.
Yeah.
Death panel, Hitler,
Lava.
something.
Alligators on their hind legs.
Right, exactly.
Chewing up baby children.
Exactly. Anyway, getting a clearer picture of Obamacare premiums for next year. Another Republican myth about the law falls or will not be rate shock. One of the outliers, and we'll talk because this is another WTF with Florida, except Obamacare. The outliers is Florida, and there's some evidence to show that Governor Rick Scott and the Republican legislature's hostility to Obamacare is resulting in higher premiums for Floridians. So obviously, the places that are embracing it, it's working great, and the places that are not. Florida, Blue, that's the big Blue Cross affiliate.
Right.
They announced premium increases of 17.5%. Last year, the legislature passed and Governor Scott signed a bill that suspended the state's ability to reject excessive premium increases. It's like they want this to go badly, so then they can blame Obama.
That's right.
In contrast, we were just talking with Jackie Chris last week about in California, they've continued their vigilant oversight of insurers and have given exchange managers the ability to bargain with providers. Rates here will go up just an average of just 4.2%. So it's and you have to feel bad for the people in these states where they're just playing politics with
Being
this.
hijacked by the Republican governors.
Yeah, and so an
They're
expert
kind of like
said
Hamasing the people.
right. They said they need to build tunnels out of Florida. That's the only thing we can do now. Anyway, insurance guy said it's a signal from insurance companies. They believe the law is here to stay and the market is stable. So, people got to get on board. Got to get on the train.
You got federal money for 3 years. Take it. Use it.
Yeah.
Come on, ride the train.
Expand Medicare.
Come on, ride the train.
Medicaid.
Ride it. Get it.
Ride
Everybody.
that choo-choo.
Take it.
Ride
All
that
right.
choo-choo.
CarlosAlesRocky.com, at CarlosAlesRocky. We'll be doing Strange Nature, film there in Minnesota.
Oh, next
for
week.
a while.
That's right.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, going to be there and having some fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we will see you the week after.
Will you find a
Absolutely.
buffet in the downtown area? Will it be reasonable?
Oh, I saw you on the TV. You're such a super lady.
See you tomorrow on the Stephanie Miller Show.